Have you ever wondered what goes on backstage during those big production shows on cruise ships? Well, I got to take a backstage tour on the Celebrity Reflection, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Hi, I'm Sandy from Sandy Over 70, and recently I took a cruise on the Celebrity Reflection. Now, I've taken so many cruises on Royal Caribbean and Celebrity that I have frequent cruiser status. And one of the perks was a backstage tour. I jumped at it because I love anything related to theater. In fact, I do act in community theater. I'm fascinated by everything that goes on stage and backstage. About 50 passengers gathered in the Reflection Theater, and two of the singer-dancers and the lighting director sat on the edge of the stage and told us about themselves and then answered questions. After that, we broke up into two groups, and our group leader was JJ. He took us backstage and showed us the dressing rooms and the costumes, and oh my, not what you would expect, that's for sure. JJ is one of the three singer-dancers. There's also a number of backup dancers, since dancing is a big part of all the production shows. He just graduated from college, and this is his first contract on a cruise ship. I'll let JJ tell you in his own words what goes on backstage during these shows.
So, this is it. If you want to come on and fill in as much space as you can, or go in, you can check out the girls' dressing room.
Wow, right here.
We all have to do our own makeup. We were given certain looks during our training process in Miami. There's also some pictures that we have in the dressing rooms that you'll be able to see that we have to try and follow. It's much more complicated for the girls. However, the guys for Elysium do have a little bit of makeup. We were really not given any actual instruction. We were just told to figure it out. However, you know, the guys help out each other. And if I'm being honest, they don't care that there's nobody who is in charge of admonishing us. So it can be a little bit tense in here, but once we get back on stage, it's all good. I'll just talk about the dressing room, so anybody who wants to look at it can just see it afterwards. It's very bright in there right now. We got lots of lights on, so we can do our makeup properly. Like I sort of said, we don't actually end up spending that much time in there other than the hour before the show, because during the show, we're either on stage or back here. We don't have enough time to get back to the dressing room. In fact, during Euphoria, which I know you guys won't see, I have some costume changes I need to do off stage. I don't have enough time to get to this quick change area. I have like 15 seconds to take off an entire costume. At the beginning of our process, we already had a dance captain and a vocal captain. They're responsible for making sure that the dances stay clean and that the singing stays proper and technically, you know, proficient. However, we also needed somebody who's responsible for all the costume stuff while we were on board. When we came on board, we had a very small team of 3 wardrobe assistants. They essentially made all of the costumes for us. Wow. The costumes are already made on board, however, they're not the right sizes. They're not fit for any of us. They're fit for the last cast. And because we don't get new costumes, we use the same exact ones over and over again. Essentially what these 3 people were responsible for doing is taking apart the costumes, like completely unstitching them, and then fitting them, tucking in all of this excess fabric so that they can fit somebody of a completely different proportion. So it really is interesting for people like me. I'm rather short, so my pants are rolled up all the way to my mid-calf. It's very, very impressive how they manage to hide so much excess fabric, but they do it incredibly well. But they need somebody who's in the cast, who's going to be here for all 8 months. If anything goes wrong with the costumes, they're going to be responsible. They also are responsible for all of the laundry. Right back there, it looks pretty dingy. If you've ever seen a washer and dryer, then you've seen it before. But we have our washer and dryer for the costumes, and Savannah is the one responsible for all of the laundry. She has to do it all, but she also gets paid extra. As well as all of the repairs. You see this sewing machine right here, as well as a little whiteboard. If we have any costume pieces that are broken that need to be repaired, we write it down right there so Savannah can do it at some point during her off hours. Hopefully she'll have it fixed by the next time you need to use the costume. And yeah, so that's she did not know anything about sewing before coming into this, so she had to learn all of it while on board. It's very impressive. She is always on top of her game. Like nobody's ever having issues getting stuff that's not fixed or that. So she's really, I think it's very, very cool how she's managed to just watch YouTube videos, get tutorials, and now she can be the wardrobe captain in here. So yeah. That's basically everything that happens in here, and then the final area we have is our costume storage. I'll once again talk to you guys about that in here just because we have a larger group, and then you can go in, take a look at it on our way out. So our costume storage is where we keep all of our costumes during the night when we only need our costumes for one night every cruise. So we'll bring them down from this next door little area to the quick change, to the dressing room, get into it, and at the end of the night we'll bring it back up. That's also where we put them in laundry baskets for Savannah. We don't wash all of the costume pieces. There are many costume pieces that we wear for one number. They barely even get used. You know, I'm not going to ask her to wash all this excess stuff that isn't even sweaty. No point in doing that. But I always put in the costumes that we wear for a lot of the show that are really, really sweaty. So she's used to that, and we put them in there. Put them in the laundry baskets in that room. We also have the shoe graveyard, which is a little point of interest. We don't use our own shoes for the shows. We're given them as a part of our costumes. So at the end of our contract, a lot of the time we don't necessarily have the room in our suitcases to take these shoes back that we don't need or want. So we donate them to this large cardboard box of dance shoes. And if you're ever in a position where your dance shoes are broken, or you arrive and the big box of shoes that was supposed to go to Civitavecchia with you didn't come, happened to us, then you go digging through the shoe graveyard and you try to find some substitutes. So if you guys want, we can exit this room and then you can sort of enter, check it out. There's lots of different costumes. You can take a look, and then I will lead you out the
Before we go, one
way.
quick question.
Yes.
You were talking about wearing the costumes and that. When they look to hire you,
Yes.
do they ever have requirements on height? Wait, that saying, okay,
Yes.
he's too tall for the part. Okay.
There are always height requirements for any show, really, but especially here in cruise lines. I see a lot of stuff. They're very strict. For some ensembles only have tall guys in them. They don't like having short guys because it makes it annoying costume-wise. So definitely,
okay.
yeah, definitely.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Class. Edge class doesn't have battles like this. Obviously, their stage is very different. It's more of a arena thrust kind of thing, whereas this is just a normal thrust stage, nice traditional stage. I like it a lot. Here in the center, we've got our turntable with lifts on it. The turntable will spin, I think, like 500 times without needing to come back, something like that. Some turntables will go indefinitely. Like, they will never stop spinning. They don't need to re-zero. This one does. Because we have the lifts on it, it needs to be a certain orientation for certain parts of the show. There's a lot of different lift sections where they do different things at the same time. And these are what's called Serapid chain lifts. So the Serapid chain, whenever it is straightened up, it's as strong as a steel I-beam. You cannot break it. I think John Henry would have a tough time with a sledgehammer. This is our orchestra pit. It'll go all the way down one deck. That's where we store like our grand piano and things. So sometimes we'll have a grand piano for a guest entertainer or Broadway, depending on how the cast feels that day. So we can bring the grand piano out. Everything under like the first row from, I don't know if you know about these numbers, but from 6 to 6 to the first and second row, that's all storage in the pit area. What else? I have a lot of lights. I like lighting. I'm Sorry. It's have a lot of lights, many things that I cannot use. Not because they don't work, just I don't. It's too much.
I hope you enjoyed this backstage tour. If you did, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching and have a great day.